So Kershaw has decided to enter the battle song market with the Kershaw Lucha, but the question is it actually worth your money? So to YouTube, Mr. Man here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do all that fun subscribey stuff that everyone tells you to do because you know, just do it. But today for review, we have the Kershaw Lucha. It's a hard name to say. This is actually Kershaw's first battle song that they've produced. They made battle songs for other companies before, but this is the first Kershaw branded battle song, which is actually really cool. So Kershaw actually sent this knife over for me to check out. They're not paying me to do the review. I do appreciate them sending the knife over to take a look at, because I was super hyped when I heard about this, for one feature that we'll get into in just a second here. So to get this out of the way real quick, the box comes in, you know, just standard Kershaw box, made in the USA, super cool, super awesome. Always like stuff that's made in the USA, supporting the US economy and jobs and all that fun stuff. America. So I don't normally go over tech specs with knives a lot. Anyone who knows Mr. Man knows I'm not very tech spec savvy, but I feel like a battle song, because the type of person that's going to be buying the battle song, you know, the market, they kind of like to know some specs, some weight, the size of it, which is a big knife. I mean, let's just get that right off the bat here. This is a big knife. Like, when I pulled it out of the box, it actually surprised me. It's big. That's not what she said, actually. But if you want to take a look yourself, I'll link Kershaw's website down below, their page for this knife. The Lucha. I thought it was a lurch at first, and then I heard someone pronounce it Lucha, and I'm like, well, dang. Glad I heard the pronunciation before I made the video. I made a complete idiot of myself. So close is 5.8 inches. Our battery power is at 15% now. Weight is 5.9 ounces, so almost 6 ounces, which that's something that people are really going to like about this knife, is that, especially flippers, is it has weight. Like, this knife has some weight to it. 6 ounces, pretty decent as far as a flipper goes, in my opinion. I'm not a professional flipper by any stretch of the imagination. I can't even flip knives really good in my dreams, but I know people that do flip and they really like heavyweight battle songs, so this is going to be a good option for that. The blade on this is actually 4.6 inches, and trying to open this up behind camera is going to be a pain, but check that out. That's huge. That's a big blade. This knife, like I said, when I first opened it up, it kind of freaked me out because it was big, but that's good. You're getting a ton for your money. And when we're talking about money, let's talk about the price point really quick on this guy. It has an MSRP of $189.99, but you can find it at dealers for around like $120, so pretty good actually as far as prices go. For battle songs in this price range, this, I'm just going to come out and say it, is probably going to be your best bet if you're looking for a good high quality flipper. Because for what you get for the price, especially like I said, that secret feature, the pivots that we're going to talk about in just a second here, it makes 100% worth it. So you have stainless steel handles on there. Now the blade, it's 14C28N. Blech, that's a mouthful. Blade. So it's stainless. You're not talking any sort of crazy super steel. It might be super. I don't know. I'm so out of the loop on steels as far as steels go. It's gonna suit you just fine. I mean, I've used this to cut before, and it's sharp. It comes. And there we go. There's my phone. How you like that? It's definitely sharp. It comes sharp. You want a butterfly knife or butterfly knife, battle songy. You want them to be sharp because if you do cut yourself, which you will if you flip these, the sharper it is, the quicker the cut's gonna heal. You're not gonna be tearing yourself, so definitely a sharp knife is very important. So the thing about this that I was super hyped for is the pivots. That's because they use KVT ball bearing pivots. I'm sorry, let me say that again. They use ball bearing pivots on this knife. This, to my knowledge, is the first butterfly knife ever to use ball bearing pivots, which is just, it's insane. I mean, and now if you're wondering, are they any good? Yes, they are. Absolutely, they are really good. I can't flip it back here, but if you could just feel how smooth these pivots are. Hey, look at that, it's a little face. Reminds me of Yoda or the Pikachu meme, or the surprise Pikachu. I know, not you seeing it, you're not gonna be able to get that out of your head. But anyway, these are super smooth. And one thing that I found out about this knife that kind of a direct side effect of using the ball bearing pivots is it has almost no, pretty much zero handle wiggle. Check this out right there. I'm pushing as hard as I can. That's as far as the handles will go. there's pretty much no wiggle at all, but the knife is still super smooth. Like, I mean, it's until you get one in your hand, you can't appreciate how smooth and how tight this knife is. One of the first things that stood out to me, other than the size of it, was just how rock solid it feels. And I'm not just saying that just because to say it. This is rock solid. Like, everyone that knows me knows I love the Benchmade 51, okay? This is one of my favorite butterfly knives. But comparing the two, it's almost no comparison. It makes the 51 feel kind of cheap and chintzy. I mean, I know, I love the 51, but even on this, the handle wiggle, look at that. I'm not even pushing hard. Like, this wiggles, obviously, because this just has washers, which I mean most butterfly knives do, but the technology in here, the ball bearing pivots, I don't use this word much, but it's a game changer. Seriously, it's a game changer. It makes the knife so smooth and so rock solid. Like, it's extremely hard to explain until you actually get it in your hands. Because the problem I've had with most butterfly knives I've handled is that they feel, even though solid ones, they still feel a little loose and chintzy, and I don't like stuff that's loose. Zero wiggle, zero play anywhere in it. It kind of feels like sorcery. I mean, in all honesty, it does. So just kind of take a look at the blade there. I really like the blade shape. You got the Kershaw logo right there. Got your pivots. And they're adjustable, I mean, if you want to adjust them, but I mean, even though they're pretty much cranked down all the way, the thing's still super rock solid and super smooth. I really like the handle design. It's a really nice, kind of futuristic but classic look. It doesn't look cheap at all, which is kind of nice. Some knives can look a little cheap with all their drilled out holes and stuff. On the back, you got your latch. It's not a spring latch, but I do really like the latch on this. It has a stop pin to prevent it from actually folding up, so when your blade comes back, you're not going to be knocking it into the latch and dulling your blade. And it can lock open, which is really nice. I mean, super rock solid when it's locked open like this. You have no play anywhere. I mean, it's essentially a fixed blade now. Has good retention. That's the thing about this too that I like. Some butterfly knives with metal handles, the latch tends to slip. Like, it doesn't hold really tight. But this, it's a pretty solid latch. Like, you're not gonna have any issues with this accidentally open up on you. This does not have a pocket clip, and it doesn't have a spring latch, which is something that the knife that I'm used to carrying, the 51, does have. But what you gotta remember though, is that the 51 is an EDC knife. Like, this isn't necessarily a flipper's knife. It's a lot more lighter weight. It has a pocket clip. It has a spring latch. It's not designed to flip. Like, flippers actually hate the 51. This, the Lucha, on the other hand, is designed to flip. It has the weight. It doesn't have the pocket clip, so it's not going to be interfering with your flipping. And it doesn't have the spring latch because for a flipper, you really don't need the spring latch. Like, that's just kind of for an EDC. And this isn't necessarily a comparison between the two. I'm just, just pointing that out. This is designed as a flipper knife. And I feel like if you're looking to get your first butterfly knife, this is actually the best option because not only is it fairly affordable as far as price goes, but also has some of the highest quality and the best features I've seen at this price point. It's kind of insane. Like, it fits into that perfect, like, it just slides perfectly in there. Like, it's affordable enough so people can buy it, but at the same time, it's high quality enough where it's not just gonna fly apart on you, after 5 minutes of flipping. In case you were wondering, yes, it does flip. My limited flipping skills, I'm not a good flipper at all. But it feels really good. The balance is really good on it. Took me a little bit of getting used to because of the weight. Like I said, I'm used to lighter weight balisongs, but once I get used to it after just a couple minutes, it works fine. I can do all my tricks, quote unquote. I know like 3, but it works just fine. No issues there. I'm not good enough to do aerials, but I feel if you were, aerials would be something that this would be really good with because it does have that weight so you can get the momentum going, which is the big thing when you're flipping. You need to keep momentum. So for another small size comparison, in case you're still kind of on the fence of actually how big it is, here's a Kershaw Cryo. Just take a look at that. I know a lot of people own the Cryo, so this is a pretty good size comparison here. Just look at that. Check that. Look at how big the Lucha is. That thing's massive. It's kind of insanely massive, which is good. Like, anyone who knows Mr. Man knows I love big knives. Like, the more knife I can get for my money, the better. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell up to this point, I highly recommend this. If you were looking to get a butterfly knife, balisong, flippy madoohickey, whatever you want to call them. If you're on a semi-tight budget or just looking to add something else to your collection that's going to serve you well for years. I mean, like, this thing's rock solid. It's going to serve you well for years to come. Definitely go check out the Kershaw Lucha. I'll put all the links down below, and also Kershaw put out a video on this, a flipping video that kind of has a little deconstruction of knives. So I'll put that down below too. Pretty cool video to watch if you're interested in that sort of stuff, which obviously if you're watching this video, you are. But yeah, so go get yourself a Lucha. It's Lucha. I keep wanting to say Lucha. It's kind of catchy.